G'day everyone, on another adventure out to Yundamindra this time. Stayed in Kalgoorlie last night. It's a bit windy, it's bloody hot too. Drive out here wasn't too bad. There's a few sketchy roads that have been washed out, but pretty good all in all. Not sure what this ground's like. It's kind of on a pending / no lease. There's a bit of gold. My mine's up to the north a little bit more, but have a look. Got I think 8 days or 7 days really. There's a couple other sites on the way back that I want to check out. Had to take a few detours today, so it took about 4 hours to do 240 clicks. So I'm just going to have I think it's nearly 2 o'clock now, so I'm just going to have a little potter around here near the car and see what's going on. Alrighty. Check this out folks, I just left the car and just walked about 20 metres to this, I guess it's quartzy outcrop. Not even an outcrop, just flats. I dug a hole over here somewhere, it turned into nothing. Dug this one here, and look at that. Oh, it's a nice little piece of gold. Thank you very much, gold gods. Looks like we might be staying here a bit longer. G'day peeps. Surprisingly the flies aren't actually that bad. They look bad now, probably because the sun's about to go down. They've been really good though. No fly nets or anything today. So this is day 2. Drove out from Cal today and went up Yarrie Road. The road was pretty good. A bit of grading going on, but yeah, it's not bad all the way through. A couple of sketchy spots. Had to go around some haul roads and whatnot. So I lobbed up here I think about 12 o'clock and didn't have breakfast. I had a nice coffee and I didn't have lunch, so I'll probably have a decent dinner. Had a few snakes and whatnot during the journey out in the field. So basically, yeah, set camp up and then wandered over to that quartz sort of field, and literally within 20 minutes and 50 metres from the car got this little gold slug, which was really nice. Tried to chase up and down the line, but I couldn't see anything else. Got a bit of lead shot, as you expect. So I'll just show you what we got. So that's quite a big slug, that one. Don't know what that come out of, but it's definitely lead. And obviously just 3 little babies and a little old tin ring type. Well, it's got a coil, so I don't know what sort of tin that was off of. And then we got the little little slug. I've weighed him and it's about 0.77 grams. The wind's playing a bit of havoc with the scales, and there's a little bit of dirt and shit in there still. So I'd say 0.7, which is probably about $75, 70 bucks. But it's a good sign because I'd rather get it in the first 20 minutes than on the last day. Got some other sites. The sites that I'll probably check out. Maybe we'll see how this one goes next day or 2, and then if it's not producing much, then I'll head back the way I came. And there's about 2 or 3 decent sites. One's full of laterite on the backside of a big knobby hill, so see how it goes. It was meant to be pretty warm, but it actually, with the breeze, it was quite nice. So and it's cooling down now, so time to have a shower and some beers and some food, I guess. Yeah, food, and then have another crack tomorrow. Cool. morning everyone. It was a really nice night last night. The wind dropped off and it was quite cool, so that was good sleeping weather. Sun came up about 5ish on tipping and my alarm went off about 6. So at brekkie and just going to go out and have another look, see how we go, do a bit of a morning session. It's still quite cool and the flies are a little bit in your face, but I think they'll piss off once it gets a bit warmer, so quite tolerable. So we'll go out there and see if we can find some more gold. Cool. G'day guys. Well, done my morning session and it's pretty much 12 o'clock, so good solid 4 hours. Just sort of walked up through that quartz stuff and sort of went over everything, a big section of it, so pretty confident that's cleared. I must have found the shooting gallery because the amount of holes I dug for lead shot, which you will see in a minute. No gold, but that's alright. Targets, still exciting. I'll show you what this morning brought. So we've got a lot of holes for those little lead pellets. An old tin lid. That's definitely not a bullet. It looks like, I don't know, it's hard to describe really, like a shoelace lug, or it's hard to know. I don't know what that is. Obviously a battery, the old steel can, and I went back and grabbed this one. Good old Coke. It's been in the sun for a while. That was next about 5 metres away from the hole where I found that gold. It's probably just blown in from somewhere. It's a bit of a wash area through here too, and it's right up the back here on that sort of tree line back there. There's an actual small shear fault running through there. Don't know. I'm going to have a little bit of wander out further this arvo anyway, just have a look, see what else is out there. But there's plenty of ground here, so see what happens. Hopefully I get away from all that lead shot now. I guess the other thing is, I don't know if they shoot regularly, but clearly no one's been across this little patch for a while because all that shit's sitting there. And there was in some cases 2 lead shots in one hole, which is a good reminder to always sweep the hole after you've cleared it, because there could be a little bit of gold sitting there that you think you're not going to hear because you've got that one lead shot. So yeah, I'm going to have some lunch. A little bit breezy, quite nice. Flies have sort of pissed off a bit, I guess. They're not bad anyway, so have some lunch and then go out for another session this arvo. Cool. G'day again peeps. Well, done an afternoon session. Actually got a little bit warm despite that breeze. Yeah, it's fairly warm. Flies are okay, that's cool. No bees out here as opposed to Kokaini where they were bloody had to put water out for them. Haven't seen a bee, so that's pretty good. Went up the top section, had a walk through that stuff. Looks like someone's had a little campfire up there at one point, because you could see some rocks sort of placed pretty obvious, and it was full of foil and all sorts of shit. The detector was screaming its head off. Other than that, not really a lot out there. I'll show you what I got. It's more trash though. So that's it for the arvo. A little shell casing. Not sure what this one is. It's lead, but it doesn't look like a slug. And it's got a couple little lines and stuff in there. Obviously another pellet and a bottle top. And don't know if you can make out an emu on there. Chances are it is an old bush chook. Who knows? Anyway, that's what I'm going to have now. So we'll have another look tomorrow. Maybe go out the front which is, this is no lease on this at all, and just I think where the fence line is over there is a pending. I mean, fucking, you got to walk miles to get anywhere near any good stuff, I guess, as in the ridges and that. But we'll just have a ponder around tomorrow and then assess what's going on. And if we need to move, there's plenty of spots on the way back, so I'll do that. Cool, time for a beer. Morning all. I believe it's Friday the 28th. This is day 3 on this lease, or not lease. Bit of a late start this morning. It's just gone 9 o'clock. As you can see, traffic was pretty intense out here. So yeah, it took me a bit longer to go from that swag to pretty much, where is it? Wherever that chair is. There it is. Also, I believe there's a little bit political here, but there's a convoy of trucks going through Perth on the freeway today. The farmers are protesting regarding live export of sheep, and all I can say is I hope they clog the fuck out of that city and get their point made, because without the farmers live export, they'll probably just stop raising sheep altogether, and then all these green leftist wankers that want to stop it will be paying lots of money for their lamb and sheep later on down the track from another country that probably is going to export them live back to us. So if you find that one day of your life is an inconvenience, and you know, you need to get to work, your kids need to get to school, then I just say get the fuck over yourselves, let them have their moment, let them get their point across, like any other minority group or any group is allowed to, and just suck it up. Don't go to work, have a mental health day, you know, just say you can't get in, boss, because you're too anxious about trying to get through traffic. That's the way the world works. So if you're opposed to it, I just say good luck to you in the future, because there'll be a lot of farmers hanging from trees with no income. So, well, that's the political side of things. So yeah, keep the sheep, folks, and I hope it goes well for all the guys and girls out there today. For me out here, I mean, this is a cattle farm, and you do hear the cows mooing at night, and it appears no greenies give a fuck about that. They're off here just doing their thing, and realistically they're probably not. I mean, they are historically a station, but most of them are owned by mining companies, so you know, they keep them running for the lease, and then they've got, obviously have to lease for mining, but gives them a bit of control over the land. Yeah, so I will be going out. I'm just going to clear off that last section where I've found that bit of gold, and just make sure there's nothing in that line, and then I might head out the front here, over yonder, have a look through there. It's quite warm last night, no breeze, and it was pretty hard having a decent night's sleep with no covers on, and the mozzies trying to get you. More so, there's not many mozzies, but they just, the noise of buzzing in your ear hole, you might as well let them take the blood and piss off, but they're just annoying. Alright, so do the morning session over on that quartz, and then probably out the front in the arvo. Hopefully we find something, even some relics, I don't mind. Just anything but a fucking lead shot. So I'll talk to you soon. G'day again, peeps. Well, I just done the morning session, and it's pretty warm. I would say, based on these clouds, that it's probably going to have another lightning show tonight. It's pretty common out here. Haven't had one yet, but feels like it's building up to a either it's just going to be electrical, or it might piss down as well. Who knows? You can tell it's hot because the flies are not as friendly So cleared all of that section where I found the gold in, and there's no more. But there is a lot of other shit there, so kept me busy digging. Yeah, so I'm pretty satisfied that if anyone comes through that section now, they're not going to get a beep. I'll show you what we got. So that's pretty much it this morning. We got the notorious foil. Little bit of metal, not sure what that's off of. A nail, not really sure if that's old or not. It's kind of squarish, but it's probably rusted out that way. Slug, a cartridge shell, piece of lead. I'm not sure what that is. It's either lead or it feels heavy enough to be lead. Then little lead shots and slugs. Obligatory ring pull. And what's that stuff there? I think they're little pieces of metal. And I think there's another piece of lead. This one's pretty interesting because it definitely rang its head off on the detector. It's almost like it's folded over. It's not super heavy, which is strange. But the detector definitely went off, and it was just sitting sort of on the top. Weird shape. Obviously it looks like an arrow or an arrowhead, but I strongly doubt that. But it's funny, it's got the striations through the metal across there. So have a little bit more of a look at that later. Yeah, and yesterday I forgot I got these two hot rocks that really zinged on the detector. The only two rocks in the whole field, I don't know, 100 square metres. So I assume that's just pretty much ironstone. It doesn't look like there's anything in it. Might grab the hammer later and have a smackaroo. Other than that, that's it. So I will have some lunch, and depending if it gets any hotter or colder, I don't know. I think it's probably going to get muggy now. Probably just go out the front here, like I said, and just do some random walking, I think, just to see. Gets a bit frustrating because you can walk randomly and it's just, where do you go? Or you can pick a patch and just dissect it and work every bit of it and know it's done. There's so much land out here. It's just, it's mind-boggling. Like how I just can't believe I found that piece of gold in the first 20 minutes, 50 metres from the car. Because had I have not, I would say I would be out of here and looking elsewhere. But I mean, once you know gold is on the property, doesn't mean there's any more. But it's better than spending 3 days and not having any at all, and no sort of real hope. So, we'll just keep pottering along, have a look out the front, and do it again tomorrow, I guess. See if we get a storm tonight. Might have to put a few extra tie downs on the marquee, because last time we had a Kukini, a ripper blew in about 30 minutes and nearly tore everything off. So they can be pretty fierce when they come through, so I might get some prep done for that. Cool, catches. Afternoon all. Well, that concludes day 3. Savo, it did get rather hot and then cool and then hot again. And those clouds are sort of developing into stuff. Not sure what it's like around here. Possibly, as it's just going to be a muggy night, which will be awesome. Went up over to that top hill out the front here. There's quite a few like greenstone schists and stuff like that. Just went a bit of a random track and just sort of went over everything that caught my eye, and then come back around through the same patch behind me, but obviously on a different track, and picked up a few little bits and pieces. Got 2 really stinking hot rocks out there, which I brought back for paperweight. So this is what we ended up with. So just a lead slug shell. and foil, and I don't know, it looks like some old tube of sorts, not sure, but more junk out of the ground, keeping Australia beautiful and all. See what the weather does tonight, and have another look. Tomorrow is, what's that, Saturday? See where we're going Saturday. If I need to, or Sunday I might chuff off down to one of the other places. Might go across the road tomorrow as well, have a little bit of a sticky beak. Yeah, but now it's time for a beverage. Alrighty, laters. Morning all. It is Saturday the 29th of March, obviously, 2025 again. Last night, well, this morning the wind really kicked up at about 1 o'clock and everything was rocking and rolling, and it was cool, but you couldn't really sleep that well because all the noise. But that's sort of what happens out here, so eventually I'll get that tired that I will sleep and wait for a better day. It definitely is a bit cooler though, but it is only like 8 o'clock, so hopefully it's meant to be cooling down, I think tomorrow onwards, so down like 30s or whatever. Just doing a bit of a tidy up. Actually, when I woke up this morning at 1, due to the wind and whatnot, got up and had a bit of took a leak, and could smell some gas. It seems like I didn't turn the actual little gas cooker off last night. Well, the flame was off, but the dial itself wasn't on off, so it must have just been leaking butane very slowly, but I definitely could smell it, so I clicked that off so nothing exploded. And yeah, definitely was leaking, because when I went to make some toast and stuff this morning, it lasted about a minute, so learned from that one. Little bit of housekeeping today. Just changed the bin bag over and triple bagged them so they don't split open on the way home on those tracks. Also, the other night when I made my well, definitely made up chicken wings and rice, and then I sort of basted the chicken wings in some barbecue sauce and some bush chook. It really burnt the bottom of the pan nicely, so I've had it soaking for a couple of days, and I just give it a scrub then with the scour, and it's like, fuck, that's not coming off too easy. So I thought, oh, we have no gumption. Oh yeah, red dirt will do it. So this is where we're at. Beautiful. I'll give it a rinse in a minute, and I bet you it's better than when I first started cooking with it. So fucking flies. So today just gonna mosey on out yonder that way, just have a look around there, probably on that line of where that gold was. Well, where's the line? But I mean, that's uphill, so if it was coming from anywhere, you'd think it'd roll downhill in the wet. Otherwise, yeah, just do that today, I think, this morning at least, and then yeah, go from there. Cool. Later. Alright, update on that pot. It's all clean. It's probably as clean as it's ever been, so good old red dirt gumption works a treat. I'll just show you. Pretty clean. Just a little chip there from yonks ago. Just give the handles a bit of a tighten up. Good old toolbox. Got to actually fix the other chair because it snapped when it bounced out the back of the ute the other day when we were coming in. It went down quite a deep route. Went down there slowly because it was quite a drop off, and then when we came back up, I didn't realise, well, I wasn't even going fast, I was luckily crawling, but it really bucked and my boots flew up in the air, and the little ramps I put under the front wheels of the ute flew out, and the chair one must have went in the air, and it's cracked the front like hinge part, so might have a play with that now while it's cool. See if I can do some MacGyver shit on it, cable ties and whatnot. Should have brought the drill. Thought about bringing the rivet gun too, but anyway, we'll get something happening. So I'll just show you the chair in question. It's a nice comfortable chair too, so be worth saving if I can. I'll definitely save it when I get home, but for now we'll see what we can do. This is what we're dealing with. So I'm not sure even when it's folded, unless it's getting to the age where the plastic's knackered. And luckily I've got a 3D printer, so when I get home I can probably model that and make some newies, but we'll see. See what we can do with it out here, because it's a nice comfortable chair. It's a bit flatter than that one. That one sort of bites into the back of your legs after a while, so good for dinner too, this one. So we'll have a crack at that for a little while, probably 10-15 minutes I reckon. I don't know, we'll see. And yeah, cool. So I MacGyvered the top bit up, no dramas. Just heated up a little Phillips screwdriver and pushed it through the plastic and put a cable tie, looped it around that lug that's through the steel. That's okay. That's not really taking a lot of the weight. So I had a cable tie here. As you can see, I've done the hole through there and whatnot, and I had 3 cable ties going up to this section here, and sat on it, and it just, yeah, wasn't happy. So with the lack of a drill at hand, I've got a couple of set screws. I should probably put some screws and shit in my toolbox, like some metal cutting ones and that. So just going slowly with the Phillips head. If I can get a hole through there, I'll match it up. I'll heat the screwdriver up again and put it in through this hole through the plastic, and then run the set screw through, and still put a cable tie in, because that helps a little bit I guess with the weight, and then we'll see where we're at. But I think I've got daylight. I think I've got through that, so I'll keep you posted. Alrighty, well, we've got the hole. That's pretty cool. Like, fortunately it's just fairly mild steel, hence probably why it broke. Well, steel didn't, the plastic did. So I will heat the screwdriver up now and mark a hole, and then run the set screw through and see what happens. Alright guys, well, I'll probably spend more time than I needed to on that, but like I said, the other chair gets a little bit uncomfortable after a while. So she's all fixed. So what we done, so like I said before, I just heated up a little small Phillips screwdriver on the gas oven and pushed it through the placky, wrapped the cable tie through. Top one, like I said, is fine, no weight. This one here was a bit of a struggle. Same deal, put the cable tie in, and as you see, I was just using the screwdriver to drill a hole. A bit primitive, but done the job. I only had 2 set screws, and fortunately they're the perfect size for the little green Phillips that I melted the plastic with. So it all works nicely. Holds my fat ass. So look at that. I bought one. Good old bush fix. So now can I enjoy the Outback without my ass being sore? Fucking flies. G'day guys. Just got back from this morning's session. I think it's 1 o'clock, not really sure. Just went out. I was going to go out the front, but then you get sidetracked and start walking different directions. So I've gone out to the east, I guess it is, yep. Just followed up through there, found looks like some guys must have been, well, some guys or a guy was camping there at one point, because there was a 6-pack of piss there, obviously bottle tops. Come back up around in front of the ute and came back. So there's a few things there that are interesting, or well, not really that interesting. One thing's interesting, I guess, if I can Google it later on. So I'll just show you what we got. So there's the bottle caps, and they're just sitting on the top, and they really sing on the detector. Another little lead shot. This is a decent slug. That one really went off in the on the detector as well. It's a real decent slug, that one. Little hot rock, the tip of a bullet, and a fairly large one, I'd suggest. Another piece of lead, and we got another piece of lead there. This one here I thought was just a tin lid, but just give it a little, it's too flat, and you can see, just taking the light, gave it a little bit of a wash. Yeah, you can see quite clearly some sort of serial number or something. Nothing on the inside. There's a little hooky edge just there. So not sure what that is off of. Yeah, I don't think it's off a modern day motorbike, the YZX, because there isn't such thing as far as I'm aware. I know there's a YZF because I had one, but yeah, might be able to find something out on that. I mean, it's decent, fairly solid piece of whatever, you know, steel, but anyway, we'll see if we can find out, fire up the Starlink later tonight. Give that a quick Google, you never know, we'll give a Google image and see if something comes up. But yeah, it's a bit cooler, a couple of degrees cooler, I think. Makes it a bit more pleasant out there. So I have to have a bite to eat, and then again just go do some random stuff. Could go across the road. The road's really not a road, but whatever. Another hour or two in the RV and call it a day, I reckon. Cool. Laters. Hey guys, well, just on the afternoon session, and it's a bit muggy again like yesterday, but it's tolerable. Pretty much went further east to another little quartz patch or rocky patch. Just easy to get the detector over there. There's no rhyme or reason, but this is. So what I'm doing is I just use the bushes as like little quadrants, you know, circles, squares, whatever, and just go through and clear each one and put a boot mark in each to say, so I know which way where I'm at. So I've done basically this. What is it? Fuck, if it's a quarter, I'd be lucky. That's about an hour plus work. Got a couple of slugs, bits and pieces, real thin metal and shit. But I got to this hole and it wasn't that, well, it wasn't, it was like, more bloody lead, no doubt. Scooped it all out till what you normally think is a bit of dust and, you know, a lead shot hiding in the dust. And I took this was joined together. I took that out and kept it in my hand, obviously, and then put the scoop across, and I didn't get a signal. I went, fuck, what's that all about? Because that's just a bit of mud. So I split this open. Oop. Detector's not working on my phone. There you go. Tiny little bit of gold that was trapped between those two halves of that mud, basically. So I'm kind of in a wash area. So that's I was thinking about whether I was hanging around tomorrow, and you know, there's some little bits around, so I guess that's worth hanging around and putting the detector over a lot of ground. So that's cool, really happy with that. Good afternoon, people. Alright, that was a reasonable afternoon session. Went over east to another big quartz bloody field. Thought I'd just bog along there and have a look-see. Another sort of runoff area into that. Yeah, I just basically quadrant each little section out and went over it all. I think there's about half, maybe a third to do tomorrow if I can be asked. Not a lot, just a little bit of shit, you know, pellets and stuff. Well, really, just I think 4 pieces of lead, and that tiny little bit of gold that was stuck between some mud, which was pretty exciting because you just wait to see a pellet drop into the scoop and go, yep, no worries. But it was fully encapsulated in this sort of mud rock, if you like. And when I took that out of the scoop, nothing in there was buzzing. I thought, well, that's odd. So I broke it open and there's a little flake. So I'll show you the trash and then I'll show you the treasure. So that's pretty much the rubbish, and that's all it is. It's all lead. Picked up this rock on the way back. Look how smooth it is, like of all the rocks. So you're looking at that stuff all the time, and that one just kind of stood out. I give him a little clean up because his bum was a bit dirty, but that has seen a lot of weather and a lot of years of weathering, because that is smooth as. Quite a nice rock. Don't know what I'll do with it, but anyway, I'll maybe lob it at the crows. When I was out there, the crows were, I mean, you have a look out here and there's not a lot that moves around, to be honest. A few lizards and stuff. I haven't seen a snake on all the time I've been out. Just birds and lizards and ants and stuff. But fucking crows in the middle of nowhere, and they pretty much flew from over yonder and landed. Two of them landed in my shower tree. I think one was keeping watch, and I was about 200 metres over that way, and I saw them. I started walking back thinking they're going to get into that bag, even though it's triple wrapped. So I grabbed a rock and piffed it the best part of 20 metres with my fuck shoulder, and that was enough to make them fly off. And then they had to come back and had another go and chucked another rock. So he pissed off, thank Christ, because I didn't want to clean up my mess. So back to the little fleck of gold. So that is it there, and that was just, yeah, fully encased in a bit of hard mud. I weighed it, and I think together it's 1.17 grams now, so that's just over $150 anyway. Well, it's not covering anyone's costs. But it's good to know. Right, so I'll probably hang around for the rest of the trip here. Yeah, put the time in, you might get a little reward, and you never know, you might get a bigger reward later. I don't know. But time it takes to strip down camp and move, it's not too bad, and get all this up in an hour, down and up in an hour. So it's not that bad, but so I'll stick around here tomorrow and go finish off that bit of quartz field and see where we're at then. Yeah, cool. Alright, time for a bush chook. Cheers. So just to let you know, yeah, that little nug was weighed at 0.42. The other one's 0.77, I think it was, or 0.76. So yeah, 1.17 I think was the total. Cool. Good morning, everyone. Well, for some of you guys it probably will be a good morning, but for me it's pretty rat shit, because although it was nice and cool last night with a fresh breeze, that picked up to a gale force breeze at about typically 1 o'clock. So I had to get up and sort of chuck on a few extra straps and whatnot, but very little sleep. And the minute the sun comes up, I mean, it's a bit breezy now, but it's nothing like it was last night. Yeah, so as soon as the sun comes up, it's a bit like the flies come out and the breeze drops off. So yeah, I'll probably 6 hours sleep, I reckon, in the last 2 days, and then doing like 6 hours out in the field. Gets a bit hectic for you, but anyway, that's what it is. Knocked up a home brew of iced coffee, put some coffee in the fridge last night, so I could pour it into the milk this morning, and made a litre of that, so that's going to keep me going, hopefully. I'll update on a couple of those, on that little thing I found yesterday. I googled that last night. There's the iced coffee, what a winner. So this thing here if you whack that number in, it comes up as a radio pick. So basically, back in the day with the old Pioneer removable faces and removable decks, you just slid that down the side into, they got a little slot in them, and it just pulls it out. So I guess someone might be needing that. Also, the chair that was MacGyvered, well, I don't think, well, the bottom blew out again, let's put it that way, and I think it's the uneven surface, so I'm going to blame it on terrain. Good old 90s reference. So, thinking about what I had left in my resources, and I always say never travel without duct tape, cable ties, hammer and vice grips, because you can fix a lot of fuck ups with that. So fortunately I've got 2 pairs of vice grips, and notice that the slides on the legs is what obviously holds that hinge up. So we went for the vice grip option, and it works a treat. There you go. That ain't going anywhere until I want it to. So that's good advice. Always take vice grips with you, and the other items I mentioned, because yeah, you can do a lot with those 4 things. So now I'm going to make, well, it's Sunday, so historically on Sundays I never check Lotto on Saturday night, because I'd rather be a winner on a Sunday because that'll make for a good session. So I've got Lotto to check, so I'll get on Starlink this morning, get the numbers, and do that after breakfast, always after breakfast, OCD about that. I'm going to make brekkie egg wrap roll for brekkie, although I don't think I need any more food after dinner last night, but whatever, need some energy to get out there again. So alrighty, I'll report back in around lunchtime, I guess, after I've been out and hopefully found some more gold. Cheers. Righto guys, this is bacon egg brekkie wrap. Just gonna brown that outside of the wrap and fold her up. I'll put some sauce in there, barbecue sauce. Gail will be screaming about putting cheese in there, but you can stick your cheese. Fold her up, and that'll be it with the iced coffee magic. G'day trendsetters. Well, we completed the afternoon session, and the wind has not abated. It is quite irritating, and I hope it fucks off soon, as well as these flies, because they've been a bit arseholey today as well. Went over to the pending lease, had a walk up the hill, a fair bit of greenstone stuff out there, a lot of country, nothing happening. Sort of, I didn't really clear an area, I just walked the track and followed some of the where all the rain, all the water corrugations are, all the streams and stuff, just followed a bit of that, and anything that piqued my interest, just had a look over. But yeah, no joy. Got some trash again, no surprises. Then came back over this side and just went along sort of where the track is, on the way back to the ute, and then around through the front. So yeah, nothing happening on the gold front. Tomorrow I don't think this marquee's got another pack down put up besides Kalgoorlie if we're lucky, so I'll hang around here, I think. I might go further east tomorrow. Seems to be not a trend, but everything seems to be on this side, from what I can gather anyway. And there's plenty of other bits of ground over here, so I'll have a look at that. This is the trash. There we go. Slug cartridge shell. It's a shame lead isn't the same price as gold. We'd be raking it in. Yeah, all good. Sunday, rugby's on. See if I've got enough gigabytes left on my Starlink. Might be able to watch the game, I don't know. Or watch one of the 9 Now ones from Friday or Thursday. That's it. Have a beer, some CCs and maybe some Kraken, and hope this wind pisses off so we can actually get some sleep. Or maybe I'll just drink a bottle of Kraken and then we'll have 4 sleep anyway. Alright, laters. Good morning, peeps. Bit of a different day today. There's a bit of a sprinkle there this morning when I was packing up. So last night I was talking to a local mine supervisor about haul roads and just told him where I was roughly, and he said he'd sort of messaged me a spot that he reckons is pretty productive, which is nice of him because not many people do that. Especially when you're talking about gold, everyone's quite secretive. And he sent me the picture, and it was one that I marked on the way in, so to go back and have a look at. So I sent him back my picture saying, yeah, I've got that one marked. So he said, yeah, it's worth a look. So packed up, left everything as is, as found, as opposed to some of the other slobs that are out here leaving shit everywhere. So the other site is same road I came, exactly same way, about maybe 25-30 k's back towards Cal, so not far at all, should be an easy trip. Just got to check the ground, make sure it's drivable. This morning, or last night, it was bloody beautiful, about 9 o'clock up till probably say midnight, 1 o'clock again. Not a breath of air. Good sleeping weather. I actually put my hoodie on, not while I was sleeping but while I was still up. Sure enough, fucking 1 o'clock, in comes the easterly, ripping and roaring. So it didn't really bother me because I thought I'll just wait till sunlight and then I'll start packing down. And I was waken up, if I was asleep, by the fridge beeping. So had an error 1 and checked the battery, and the battery was down to 10 volts. So what I've done is I left Starlink on last night, and it doesn't draw that much power, but I think there was a update waiting to be installed that they were going to do this morning. So I don't know if that pulled more power, but that's the first time the battery has been drained to a point where you're below 12 volts. So of course when you need the sun to charge your battery, what do you got? Sweet fuck all. So the fridge is packed and not on. It was on -6, so I was running it pretty cold too, so that might have drew a bit more power. Just because I like my cans a bit colder. Anyway, the fridge is shut down and it's sitting in the ute, and it should keep cool for the day really, but there's not a lot in there to go to waste now, so if I have to drink warm bush chook, so be it. I think the battery shows 11.3 now. So if we don't get any sun, might be screwed. But like I said, there's only a few hamburgers and bits and pieces in there, and I won't feed them to the crows, but I'll chuck them out on the way home, sort of thing. So if they go bad, I don't think they will though. So all right, well, we'll mosey on off, have a look-see at this other spot, get set up, I guess. Cheers. What's this big boy gonna do? Right there, Chief. You look healthy enough. Yeah. You look healthy for sure. Have a good day. Alrighty, we are back on the main road proper, and as you can see, it's not raining hard, it's just sprinkling, but hopefully that amounts to, well, just that and nothing more, because it's going to be, the road's probably going to fill up pretty quickly if it gets more than that. It's probably a good idea to get out from today, out from that side, because there's some decent ravines and stuff that obviously water channels, so if something does happen, I think this is a No, is this the one? No. Thought this was the one that bucked all the gear off the other day. Even this is pretty soft at the moment, so you imagine that with a bit of water in it, it's going to get nice and slick, and only having a two-wheel drive, well, probably not the best idea, but whatever. Got plenty of recovery gear, and I've got UHF, there's a mine nearby on channel 2, so I can call them up if I really needed to. Got max tracks and bog out ropes, and in the worst case I've always got the personal location beacon, so I mean that, I don't think you deploy that for getting bogged. Anyway, and I remembered I have a 12 volt Siggy charger for the fridge in the fridge jacket, so I've just plugged that into the car and put it to -1 instead of -6, and see if we can get some juice back into her whilst we're travelling. And then if the sun doesn't come out, we're pretty much screwed today. I've got torches and all the rest of it, so we'll be right. 2-minute noodles, still got a gas burner, so yeah, plenty of shit to eat. Plenty of water, so not going to starve. I won't leave the fridge on the car battery. I've got a portable jump starter as well, but I'd rather not have a flat car battery just to keep the fridge going. So yeah, that's it. It's sort of sunnier. I wouldn't say sunnier, it's clearer the way I'm heading, but yeah, anyway, we'll find out, I guess, in due course. Alrighty peeps, we have arrived. It's only about 30 minutes, not even that. I mean, it was just crawling on most sections at 50k, 60k tops. It's a lot of washouts. I guess the locals probably just ripped through there, but I'd like to keep all my my axles intact, you know, go a bit slower and get home. So the ground is a lot different. This is, yeah, it's right on top of some old stone formation where I've parked, so looks pretty good. And if old mates fucking steered me in the right direction, oh, there's a big double G's in that tyre, and yeah, we'll see. I've got pretty much 2 full days now out here. I'll just get set up. I'm facing east this time, just to see if that helps with the wind just coming through the marquee instead of against it. It's not going to make much difference to the solar panel today. Looked like it was clearing up, and then yeah, it didn't. So it's quite cool. It's still that easterly breeze pushing. So anyway, we'll get set up. Looks like I might need to put some air in that back tyre. It's got all the weight on that side, so I might just check it anyway. Alrighty, talk to you soon. Morning again, people. Well, camp is set up. Took my time, just go slow, get it, you know, right. I guess it's exactly the same as the other camp, because I know everything works that way. So yeah, she's all set up. Sun still hasn't come out. Getting about 27 watts through the solar panel, and I've got about 12.5 volts in the battery at the moment, which is amber. Usually when it's full it's 13.2, 13.3. Looking at the history on the MPPT, around 13.25 is what it's been maxing out at most days. So I'll leave the fridge off. I've left it in the car for now. I don't know if that's any cooler there or not. Or say there's nothing in there that's going to be, you know, a worry anyway. So I'll see if I can get it up to 13 volts during the day, and then I might bring it out and just run it at 0 or 1 or 2 degrees. It won't be cold, but it'll be enough anyway. Yeah, so, and then there's lots of double G's, which it's not that great for Archies. They're not massive double G's, but I have had a couple come through the thongs, and the thongs are pretty thick. So I've got my other Rossi boots in the bag, so might be bringing them out a bit later. But I figure if I walk in the same spot, I'm going to pick them all up eventually, and then I'm not going to have any left to worry about. So the ground looks, yeah, really pretty good. It goes, it's probably the double G area that I haven't walked on, but yeah, it's it'll be easy to stroll on. So I'll just had a muesli bar for breakfast, and I had the rest of the iced coffee before while I was unpacking the other camp. So I will, I guess, gear up and have a wander around and see if it is productive or not here. Anyway, different spot, so change is as good as a holiday, and when you're unemployed, it's one big fucking holiday anyway. Alrighty, talk to you soon. G'day guys. Oh, I've just had a wander around this new site, new lease. This one is actually pending. I'll hopefully get some power back up and running and get Starlink up tonight and just update Trilobyte and make sure that it is still pending. Not like there's anyone out here though. So yeah, the ground's pretty good. There's quite a few hot rocks. I only saw 2 bits of trash, which was good. So obviously, while people are coming here, they're cleaning their shit up, which is great. No real big zingers, just like I said, a few hot rocks that they kind of warble. They don't really go off like metal. So there's plenty of stuff out here to look at. It's bloody easy to get disorientated. I thought I was walking a different track and I checked Trilobyte and I was literally on top of the track that I went out there, and it's completely random. So yeah, I mean, I've got the 2 phones with Trilobyte and I've marked with my GPS as well, my Garmin, where the car is, so you know I've got plenty of backups if anything happens. Battery is at 12.8 volts and the Victron MPPT shows it at 13. So it should only be about 0.2 away from full. The fridge is still off. It's relatively cool in there. I did chuck in a couple of warm exports, see if it could absorb some of the remaining coolness in there. The sun is just not. It's, you know, peaking here and there, but it's just cloudy as all buggery. So what a day! What a day to lose your battery and then have no solar. Although the solar's going all right, 50 watts with this, you know, overcast, so it's given me something. So I've made myself some, I guess you call that breakfast at 1 o'clock. I think it's 1 o'clock or 12:30 or something. So flies are enjoying it too. So I'll have some of that. Just kick back. I might have a coffee and some ginger nuts, since I haven't had a ginger nut since I've been out here. And go for another wander a bit later this afternoon. It is cool. Oh, that could be a car or a truck. Definitely something. I got excited the other day. I saw a plane go over. It's definitely a truck. Be a road train. Let's see. He ain't going slow. The road's just there, not far off the road, just tucked in behind these trees, just so it's a little bit not in your face. Alright, loader. Alright, cool, that's the highlight of the day. Some other people have me toasty sangs and clean up and chill out for a bit. G'day punters. You can see the sun, I think it came out for about 2 minutes, and now it is in the west, behind those clouds, and yeah, it's just in the wrong spot really. So I'm about to turn Starlink on and just have a chat to Gail, let her know what's happening, and upload Trilobyte, make sure this lease is still pending, and then turn Starlink off and turn the fridge on, and probably have a few warm chooks or some warm Kraken with warm ginger beer. That'll be tasty. Rum's all right warm, I'm sure. So the Savo, I went up through basically the old rock formation, the real old stuff. There's quite a bit of like laterite, ironstone stuff laying around. It's pretty interesting land, but I haven't found any gold. Possibly here. Just got to walk over it, as they say. And it's really clean. So as boring as that is, because you're walking around for hours and not hearing a thing, when you hear something, I guess it betters your odds that it's unlikely to be trash. But in this instance, I got 2 signals the whole way around, and it was about 2 hours worth of walking. A couple of hot rocks, which kind of get the feel of what they sound like now. Just kick them off the target and then run the detector over it, and usually the signal's no longer there. So basically, yeah, the 2 things I got on that little trip were famous. Let's see it. This is like a little bit back end of a lead pellet, and that looks like a cartridge shell, small 22 shell or so on the back end of something. It's a bit munted. So a lot of walking for not much reward, and occasionally I just grab my little medicine thing of those 2 bits of gold and chuck it on the ground and come up on it with a detector just to remember what it sounds like, what a decent signal sounds like, because after a while you kind of, with the hot rocks especially, you kind of go, oh, is that a signal? Oh, I'm not sure. So, but the detector really sings out when it's a solid, metal, even tiny bits of metal. It's pretty obvious. So, all right, well, that's it for today. So, Monday, don't even know what day it is now. Monday, is it the 1st? I guess so, maybe. So, one more day here tomorrow, then pack up Wednesday and head to Cal, stay the night. So, we'll try and give it a good shake tomorrow and cover some, you kind of think, well, you cover ground, but if you take the car out of the equation, then all of this is ground. So, I don't know, it's a bit like fishing on a boat. You cast away from the boat when you can just drop it straight down. Yeah, it's just a bit of a mind game with you, because you go, well, there's the ute, so I better go fucking miles away, when it could be right there on your doorstep, because the car doesn't exist in the bushes scheme of things. So if I get a chance to have a chat with Dave, the guy that I was talking to last night, I'm on the north side of the road, so I don't know if the south side's any better. It looks a bit more rockier over there, and I'm not far from the road, so a couple of cars come past, and so there's a bit of traffic. I think the Saracen mine up here, there's Saracens and another one, so obviously a bit of vehicle traffic. So it's quite nice to hear another person, another car coming past. All right, well, that's it. I'll see you in the morning. Oh, what's that out the back there? Oh, it's the sun. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Nice time to show up, mate. Oh, well, I've got the fridge on. It's down to 8. I've just rung Gail and let her know what's going on. Hopefully it's going to be sunny tomorrow, so I'll get the battery booted back up. Just chucked a couple of warm chooks in the fridge, and I dropped a can of CC, and of course it split open. Well, it didn't split open, a little rock punctured it, so I'm now drinking a warm can of CC and dry with some delicious salt and vinegar chips. So I'm going to go from CC, warm CC and dry, to warm export, and then back to CC and dry, I guess. Anyway, been a fun day. Awesome. Flies are bloody on it already. Laters. G'day, folks. Well, we've done the morning session. It's pretty warm. It's only meant to be 30, 31, but it feels warmer. Probably because there's just a lot of rock around here, and there isn't much of a breeze. It's quite a slight breeze, but I'm cool with that rather than gale force winds. Headed up, basically sort of in line with the road, heading out to that old benchmark thing that's on the simple geology. There's a big ridge there, and the detector went off, and it was all old fence wire. And at the top of this rocky outcrop, there was a star picket, so It's right in the middle of this lease, so I don't know if that's a remnant of an old lease or it was actually part of the fence, because there's a bit of wire up there as well. So I went up to the top there and got a really nice sort of pano view of everything, and I think you can see the lakes. I'm not sure if it's Lake Darla or Rayside, to the, what's that, northeast. So you can see all those from up there. Yeah, it's pretty clean on that bit of walk, and then come back around the back and down the guts. Hit a patch of lead pellet, like about 10 pellets in about 2 square metres. So just when you think you got it clean, it'd hum again, and very unlikely there's gold as the last piece, but you got to keep digging them. So it took me a bit longer to get back than I was anticipating. When you start heading towards the ute, you kind of take a straight line, and then got held up there for a bit, but there's no rush, I guess. You just take it slowly, and but yeah, so I'll show you what we got anyway. So there's the first piece of the wire. It's really thin gauge, so bizarre, but there's strands of it up on that hill. That was the first signal, and that was in like a wash gully or water gully from the road, about 30 metres probably down slope of the road. So I think that looks like some sort of slide collar that clips behind a pin type situation, and that's just all a lead shot, and like I said, about 10 of those come from one spot. So yeah, it's not as clean, well, not in that little section anyway, but another session to go really. I don't know what to do, whether I go across the road for a look-see. I mean, it all looks the same over there as it does over here. There's a bit of a bigger ridge slash hill of rocks, but I don't think that'll make too much difference. It's all on the same line of the old historical rock formation. So don't know, have a think about that over lunch. And something else that's really trippy. I obviously had my phone in my pocket, and I just check Trilobite every now and then to see how I'm tracking, what direction I'm going. And I was crossing a little gully, and I could have sworn I heard this woman's voice. I thought, fucking hell, there can't be anyone out here. And I stopped and listened, and I could hear this voice. I went, nah, fucking hearing things. So I kept going, and then pulled my phone out. A bit later on, I could hear this woman's voice, and I'd hit the fucking speaker part on Trilobite, so she was narrating where I was basically, on subterranean greenstone belt, which is useful information. But I thought I was going a bit mad there for a minute. I thought, fuck, I'm nowhere near camp, so no one's at camp, and I don't know where this person is. But there you go. Your mind does weird things when you're out in the silence. So yeah, hopefully no one does turn up. Anyway, all right, report back later this afternoon. G'day again, people. Just going through my pockets. Just noticed something. I don't even know if it's from this site or the previous one now. It's a funny little piece. It's not a champagne bottle top of sorts. Feels like lead, and it's quite ornate. So I'll just show you, and maybe tonight when I get Starlink up, do a Google image and see if anything comes up. But it's pretty impressive, considering it's been sitting out here or the other site for so long. So there it is, and like I said, I'm not 100% sure what its purpose is. But it's very intricate, and like I said, it's got the texture or the feel of lead. I don't know. I'll Google photos that tonight, and get on there, see if it comes up with it. But yeah, I just found it crumpled up in my pocket. I know I put it somewhere, safe, and I forgot all about it. So, all right, cool. Morning all. It is Wednesday the 2nd. I don't know. Got up. Last night was bloody beautiful. Probably the best night, fucking with wind and whatnot, or lack of. So it was still as anything. Although with that comes some mosquitoes, but they're not too bad. So got up about 6ish, just after 6. No real rush, but that's when the flies and the mozzies want to get you up. So packed everything up, left everything as is, as found. The plan is I've just kept all the detector gear. Oh look, there's a crow over there. Kept all the detector gear loose, or not one of the detectors in his bag, but all my clothes and that. I'm going to go past another site. It might be an hour or so down, I'm not sure. It's a no lease and a pending lease. When I get there, I'll just have to see if I can get Starlink up and just double check, because they're not updating at the end of the day. They seem to be updating in the mornings now, so on Trilobyte anyway. So things I need to address. Starlink is pulling power, so I'm going to have to do my maths. That solar panels, I think 150 or 170 watt. And normally, obviously, we're running the fridge so low, that's going to pull power too, so I have to look at that. But Starlink reckon only pull between 22 and 40 watts when it's operating. So realistically, when that battery's on full charge, it should last 40 hours. So if nothing else was running off it, that is. So I have to crunch some numbers. I'll probably end up getting a solar blanket as well, doing a splitter Anderson into the MPPT, just to, because in the last 4 days the battery hasn't hit float. It's always been bulk till the sun's gone down, and parking towards the east obviously is not ideal either. So anyway, there are a few things to look at, so the next adventure runs a bit smoothly. But at the end of the day, all the fridge is doing now is keeping the piss cold, so whatever. I'll plug it into the car while I'm riding today. It's down, I think the battery's back up to 12, which is, it should be at 13.2, 13.3. Yeah, so the flies are definitely friendly. So I'll head down there and have a look. Can't check in till 2, so I might have a couple of hours out there to have a bit of a play around and see if my suspicion is correct or not. Otherwise, we'll report back in at the end of the day. Cool. See you later. So we just got out of the, second Fortune mine. I just went past there, and this is the road from there on in. The other side of that, absolutely shit. No one cares because there's no mines. I think, like say, Saracens is out that way. But, I mean, their guys are doing over 100 in their Land Cruisers, and there's some fucking... I'd hate to be a mechanic because they'd be doing suspension all the time. I was lucky to do 60 Ks. And then this is, so we just went past second Fortune mine. From here back to Cal, it's like this. It's just like rock hard. It's clay or whatever, dirt, but it might as well be bitumen. Still got to keep your eye out, especially on the cattle grids and stuff, because on some of the cattle grids they put bitumen for whatever reason, and then no one comes, and once that pothole's out, no one comes out and fixes it, so it makes it actually worse than just a dirt one. So most of the cattle grids are actually full up with mud anyway, so they're kind of pointless, which probably sort of goes with my previous thing of that the stations just run to keep a lease going more than anything else. So anyway, we'll get into this other site on the way back and have a sticky bake. It's only 8:30, fuck, it feels like lunchtime. And I'll have a few hours out there by the looks. Alrighty, well, we're already here and it's 20 to 9. So I'm just taking this track, which is pretty gnarly. It's hard though, so that's fine. We're not going to sink, hopefully. It looks like it's had water through here. So currently we are on that pending, which goes all the way to the left behind. There's a hill up there. I'll go across to the section that's got no lease. depending on this track, as long as it doesn't get any worse. And then I might have to pop up the marquee, just because, unless I can find some shade somewhere, which we'll find out when we get there, I guess. Looks like we'll nearly do. I can stay out here till about 12, I'd say. It's probably another couple of hours to Cal. Might be less on that good road, so see how we go. Alright guys, pretty much just threw the marquee up and strapped it down to the racks. It's not that windy out here at the minute, so that's cool. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's like 9:30 or 9:45 now. I'm going to head off that way. There's a live mine exploration just north, and then over this way I'm right on the boundary of the pending, and this is no lease. And if we go off into a triangle off that way, that's all the pending stuff. So I'm really just going to hang around near the car and have a bit of a muck around, and never know, you might get lucky. I mean, the ground doesn't look super great, but then you never know, do you? So kill a few hours out here. It's not too warm, so yeah, we'll do that, and who knows, may or may not get lucky. Alrighty, catch us. Hey guys, well, I think it's nearly 12 o'clock, so I've spent was that 2.5 hours trundling around. So I did go over to the front section, walk through there. There's a bit of sort of quartzy sort of fields and mixed rocks and that, nothing really that great. Then I come down where the track's all washed out. I come down through that channel and back along this section around the back, and similarly there's bit of quartzy fields and whatnot. Definitely wouldn't want to be here when it's wet, because this looks like it's just one massive floodplain. So I'm not sure what old mate's got the pending for, because it doesn't look that great, to be honest, but I guess you got time to do it, So got a few signals on the way around, and usual suspects. Yep. So we got Mr. Foyle, and he was literally just over there somewhere on the way back in. Another cartridge shell, piece of metal which was over the front there, and a nice bullet head slug and a little lead shot. So that's it. We'll just pack this up now and head into Cal and just chill. Alrighty, take care everyone, catch us later.